Hi there. So I'm back in Dusseldorf. Unfortunately, would have loved to spend more time with you exploring further more music, but that's how life goes on, right?
Yeah, yeah. But while you were here, I couldn't hear new music because you were traveling so much.
Absolutely. We
So,
didn't get time a lot.
yeah.
But now I think we can restart. And today I have an interesting track for you, which is Khwaab by Kashmir. For our viewers who don't know, Kashmir was the winner of Pepsi Battle of the Bands Season 2. And it was their first album, and this track is basically part of their first album. So I won't take much of your time. Let's jump into it and then we discuss it later.
Let's do it.
Great. Three, two, one, and play.
जाने तू कहाँ हो गया है ना ख्वाबों में तेरे कोई रास्ता है क्या और तेरी इन यादों में है क्या और तेरी इन यादों में है क्या
Beautiful.
बिखरा ये समा थम सा गया है क्या साए में तेरे कोई आसरा है क्या यादों के सफर में तू बस गया है ना
Seriously.
कल की सोच में आज क्यों है फना और तेरी
Wow, what a shot. What a shot.
इन यादों में है क्या
Death of music.
और तेरी इन यादों में है क्या
Where's Khan?
जाने तू कहाँ खो गया है ना ख्वाबों में तेरे कोई रास्ता है क्या और तेरी इन यादों में है क्या और तेरी इन यादों में है क्या
Oh,
What a shot! What a shot!
इन यादों में है
oof. Every time I listen to this song after the 4:30 minute mark, always,
Yeah,
always I get the goosebumps.
yeah, yeah. This makes me cry. This makes I tear up. I tear up. So
This is.
for the viewers, why this track is so special?
Hmm.
So let's talk about a little bit about the band. So this band, this track is from like 4 years ago, and I mean now they are more matured. Their music
Mhm.
is more matured. At that time, they were very raw, coming out of the passive battle of bands, and started producing music, dropping videos. Uh, but why this track is so special is the message of this track, and I mean you can also
Absolutely.
see in the video, which is the witch hunt of musicians. So this is about witch hunt of musicians, right? You go back, you go to the original. Don't watch our video. Go to the original soundtrack on YouTube. Watch it there, and then you would make sense of the visuals, what's happening. So there's a music fan, this kid
Hmm.
who is traveling through the graveyard, cemetery, the necropolis of musicians in Pakistan, especially in Pakistan, and the musicians on the stage, it's depicted that they are being witch hunted and
Hmm.
are on a pyre, and there's this violent crowd everywhere who wants them to be killed, or
Yeah.
the way they used to burn witches. And I mean, being music lovers, this hurt so much because the the death of music. I mean, the music scene in Pakistan. I mean, I shouldn't call it that way. It wasn't that bad,
Yeah.
but yeah, you may recite that story.
Yeah. I mean, Kashmir also mentioned, I think, in one of their interviews, I didn't watch that interview, but read it somewhere, that this basically the idea behind this particular song and video is that the slow death of the music that has happened over the course of decade, or especially after 2011 in Pakistan pop and rock industry. Because if you see Pepsi Battle of the Bands, the first season of Pepsi Battle of the Bands, it happened, I think, somewhere around 2000 and 2001. And we saw some legendary bands came out of that scene, Mikaelson Band, EP, RO, Mizrab, Mizmar, and whatnot. And they inspired a generation, and then we got to see Call, Jal, Atif, and whatnot. I mean, there were so
Whole
many musicians,
ecosystem,
whole
whole
ecosystem. And after 2011, it just started
fell
to
apart.
fell apart absolutely. And then Pepsi Battle of the Bands happened after, I think, 16 years or 15 years in 2017, and they were the winner of that particular season, and I mean they chose the right message to convey with this particular song. What
So
beautiful thought.
that period between 2001 till 2010ish, I mean, these were our formative years, right? We were
Yeah.
teenagers, we were very very young, we were kids, right? Even
Hmm.
and going into that period, suddenly the music scene in Pakistan blowing it started blowing up, right? So we used to have Vital Sciences and Junoons and on other musicians like Keem Sajjad
Hmm.
Ali's and all that. You know, the pop and rock was there. There were other pop icons like Shahzad Roy and Asika Kayani, etc. But from 2001, the the pop and rock culture, the underground the band culture exploded, absolutely
Yeah.
exploded. And you had countless bands, and they
Yeah.
were doing amazing work, fusion and all that you named it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and this culture, I don't exactly remember until when, but I remember like 2007 or 8. Until then,
Yeah.
I like, and then it somehow started falling apart for some reason. For some reason, I don't exactly remember why, but then everything fell apart. So some musicians who were renowned, well off, they could afford to, they continued their music
Yeah.
journey. But most of the bands who actually sprouted from that ecosystem, they couldn't sustain themselves. And yeah,
Yeah.
um, there was a lot of political instability, there was a lot of terrorism.
That was one of the main drivers.
Yeah,
True.
there were so many variables. But then since then, all the bands like fell apart. They were, I mean, there were only key few that remained, and they just
Yeah.
pulled everything together. I mean, they carried things forward. Zulfi was one of them, right? The
Rohel
strings,
Hayat.
Ruhail Hayat, strings. Coke Studio was, I mean, Coke Studio, Pakistan. I
I
mean,
think that
holds a
was
special place in Pakistanis because
absolutely.
when the music was dying, they kept it together. They kept
They kept it
running. They
together for
kept
sure.
producing. Right, right. Yeah, and few other names. But now, after I would say it's on 16, 17, this culture is still again sprouting,
Starting,
right?
yeah.
And one of the producers is Kashmir, right? Kashmir,
Absolutely.
we have Oj, we have other bands, but Kashmir is one of them, and their recent work is even better, more mature. I mean, musically, if you talk about this track, you would find a lot of elements that needed some polishing over, right?
Hmm.
Although, although for me, this track is absolutely beautiful for the message, for the execution, for the lyrics, for the video. I mean, how good was the video? So, think about this. 4 years ago, when this band was very raw, very new, how good is the video?
Absolutely. How mature this initial effort was.
The cinematography,
Cinematography, the
the
direction.
storyline, the direction, the acting, the kid, the attire, the wardrobe, the scenes, that the
The
guitar
level
on
of detail.
the guitar
What
on the
was what an
wall,
amazing shot that was, man. The
and
kids just going there and see.
there was a dead person in front of that guitar, and
Absolutely.
that kind of broke me because yeah, this reminds me of until 2010 and 11 I used to also play guitar, right? And this is where when the that scene died,
Hmm.
somehow I also stopped. I don't
Hmm.
know what happened. I don't know what happened, but
But yeah, if we talk about the band itself, I mean, we can see why they were the winners. They have a very tight lineup. Their electronic guitar, Wes Khan, I think the right name is Wes Khan. But he is a gem. The singer Bilal himself, the guy on the keyboard, the drummer, all of them are just amazing, amazing band member, and they gel together pretty well. Their recent work is also coming up, and we hope that they continue to produce such kind of music. They are now collaborating with other bands as well, and I hope that they
yeah.
continue to do so.
So we recently did a track called Azmale, where the
Asmane.
lead vocalist of Kashmir worked with young stunners.
Yeah,
I mentioned in one of the previous tracks, I think it was Asmale, that because, when tragedy happens, when some tragedy happens, people come close. People support
Hmm.
each other. That's human nature, right? So in the face of tragedy, you forget the differences and come together,
Yeah.
band together. And I was talking about in Azmale that we see a lot of mutual respect and appreciation, right? So
Yeah.
I saw under one of the videos of Kashmir, I mean, there are comments from Bayan and other
Bayan.
artists appreciating their work,
Abdul
asking to do
Qureshi. Yeah.
collaborations, right?
Yeah.
And it's this is the, I think, outcome of that tragedy, that
And
now
I
people,
think,
yeah,
yeah, this is the kind of synergy that you need at the moment to
absolutely,
revive the industry again. And it's
absolutely.
so heartwarming and heartening to see this that the bands and the artists are supporting each other in this particular manner. I wish they get more views, and now YouTube has
Yeah,
opened up a new dimension for all the artists. So we hopefully would get to see a lot of more new interesting artists coming up from Pakistan as well again. And we can just hope.
yeah, yeah. So their newer work is even better, and I mean, for our viewers, you are definitely gonna see us share
Yeah.
their music and talk about it. We are definitely gonna do it because yeah, their work, they hold a special place again because they are one of these new bands who are just stepping up. They are
Yep.
leading from the front, right? In terms of quality of their music, the lyrics, they don't compromise on lyrics,
Yep.
don't compromise on video
Yep.
whenever they drop it. So yeah,
I
that's it.
think let's conclude it,
Yeah, let's do
and
it.
we will continue to explore their further work on this particular channel together. So until then,
Bye
we we see each other again. Bye.
bye.